Night talk. Hello, you're on the air.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Fine.
I heard your...
I can't hear you. I don't know if it's all the callers or my monitor. I can't hear anybody.
Am I speaking loud enough now?
Yes.
Yeah, I was listening to you talk about the sister from Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, something has always troubled me about the entire civil rights movement. There was a time when young brothers and sisters were used by our leaders as cannon fodder. And when the dogs were sick upon them and they were fire-hosed and drugged by the hair, thrown into police vans, there were some of them, brothers and sisters, who was leading came out with a certain amount of notoriety, publicity, and glory. But the young brothers and sisters who were the cannon fodder, whose careers was snuffed out before they even actually begun, who did not get a PhD, who did not become known and revered or respected and held up as heroes and heroines. These are the people that I think about when I think of those who mounted the rostrums and spoke so eloquently and passionately to our cause and so forth. But I think that until we are able to recognize the least of us, the best of us are going nowhere. I tend to think that any time we allow a group of people to abuse and misuse and brutalize our women, as we saw happen in so many instances that still occurs today, I don't think that we will be able to hold our heads but so high and to rear back and flaunt how great a hero or revolutionary we may be. I think that it's time for us to put a stop, a screeching halt to people abusing us, especially our women, especially our children. And since we are not certain that we have a future life to live, we should live this one as men. I think that not to say that all the responsibility lies upon the men's shoulders, but I think that the leading component and the exponent of our race must be us as men. And when I see people harassing, talking about our women that not wearing the hair like they wanted, not wearing the right dress to please them, to me personally, I am insulted. And I think somewhere, sometime, some way, we brothers are going to have to sit down and establish an agenda and say nobody crosses this line without every inch, every authority that we have in our being. We will come forth in all our splendor, even if it costs us our lives. I sometimes think when a woman gives birth to a child, she is risking her own life. And for us to be grown men and can have other people begging other people to give us recognition or to let us do something, I think that we are in violation of the law of our Creator, because we were not conceived inferior. There is nothing I can think of that would say that we are supposed to ask any criminal who has done what they've done to us, bringing us out of our place, and now we are supposed to obey the law, when they are the outlaws of the world. It makes no sense to me. I think that we're going to have to look and look clearly that we have made some tremendous blunders in the way we have conducted ourselves in our family structure. And I look at the black race as our family. And when we let them to abuse our children, they will inherit a fear and a lack of psychological boosting that if they say, I stand up for righteousness, I know the brothers are going to back me up. We have not backed them up. And to me, that hurts. Every day I hear another little black child has been abused or killed. Another black woman has been shot to death or thrown in jail, and some cracker, a flat lip.
Wait now, hold on. Let me just say this. I want to ask one thing. What is your point?
My point is, we have to establish manhood in our race, or we will never get out of slavery.
Yeah, but
I don't care how eloquent.
wait
how
now, wait
nice.
now, wait now. That can't be the point. That's too easy. Nobody's ever disputed that or even suggested anything different. I mean, why are you saying that? That is not.
Saying,
Go ahead.
I'm saying that, brother, because I am walking around these streets. I travel through these streets,
Right.
and I see the average male in the areas that I'm traveling look like his spirit has been vacuum cleaned out of him.
Uh-huh.
And I know that that's an invitation to the slaughter of our people. And I say that we have to either build him up or move him out of the way, because somebody has got to be a man for this race. I believe that to be my point.
Oh, I understand that, but okay. Well, I thought it was in response to something that had been said. I thought you were responding. You were just making a generic statement.
I'm saying, yeah, whatever we say, brother, my point is,
Okay.
whatever we say, until we can say it as men, we are acting like boys. We are not acting like men.
But see, that again, that's like, how do I say it? You know, of course, that's like elementary school politics. That's politics on an elementary school level. Of course, as long as we say things like men, but are acting like boys, it will never be fulfilled. Well, you learn that like in Politics 101. What I'm saying is that those are some very easy summations. You know, if you don't put a coat on in the wintertime, you will get cold. I mean, that's essentially what you were saying. Well, we know that. I mean, I'm looking for instance, what would be the point in you saying to an adult right now, if it's raining and you don't put a coat on or a raincoat on, you're going to get wet when you go outside? Why would you say something like that to an adult, for instance?
Brother, I know that a lot of times that when we're talking, you have a tendency to tell me I'm at 101 and so forth and so on. I don't think that we're going to get to 2 before we become men, and I don't think that
I don't disagree with that.
It's going to become automatic.
Right.
I think that we're going to have to teach manhood the same way you teach any other science. I think we're going to have to put those responses.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all.
But I'm saying that if it's so elementary and it's so fundamental, how come we have not already learned it? Stop practicing.
That's what I would ask you, since you are the one who is advocating teaching it. I would ask you as the teacher if it is because I'm saying that the conclusion is elementary. And see, it's very easy to arrive at a conclusion. It is much more difficult to arrive at the precise methodology by which it will be taught. Anybody can say that we have to become men. We have to become men. Okay, now that we have arrived at that very easy conclusion is what I'm saying. The difficult part goes to step 2. What is the process? What is the course? How precisely do you begin that rites of passage process?
How would I begin it?
I'm saying how that happened generally, but yes, how would you do it? But I'm saying when I say that the analysis is elementary, I'm talking about the conclusion. You don't have to do a great deal of thinking to know what kind of trouble we are in. The trouble we are in is not what escapes us. The solution is what escapes us. So as you begin to talk about what we must do, the obvious questions become, how then do we do it?
May I answer?
Sure. Hold on. I'll come right back to you. But sure. That's what I want to talk about. Then you might want to call back because that assessment of the civil rights movement is historically incorrect.
Black American newspaper. May I help you?
I wish you could. A friend of mine told me your paper says the black woman is prettier than the white woman.
Lady, do you want the facts?
Yes, I'm only interested in getting the facts.
Okay, lady. If you want the facts, all you gotta do is pick up the Black American News at your nearest newsstand.
From political news to the latest shoes, from Jesse Jackson to Michael Jackson, it's all inside Black American News. For Caribbean flavor and classified labor, for fashions that soothe and models that move, we're in the groove. You don't have to choose, just pick it up, check it out. You have no doubt what it's all about. Black American News, 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 Black American American news, Black American news, Black American news, Black American.
Hello, go right ahead.
Yes, sir. Point one. I would take over a school, not all of them, but one school. And I will put in that school a master teacher on African manhood, its rituals, its occultism. I will bring every boy from 4 years old to 50, and I will begin at ground zero with them. I will question them, I will teach them, I will show them, I will train them to be men. I will take them from an intellectual baby to a master in the art of being a man on all levels. That's what I would do. I would not allow anybody to teach those boys outside of the master men of my race. I would make sure that as soon as I got them in tow, I would then make sure that our children did not attend anybody's schools until they first finished what we had to teach them in African nationalism. And after they have learned nationalism, I can turn them loose and they can go anywhere. Nobody will turn them around.
Now you say you would take over a school.
Yes, sir.
You have a school in mind?
Sure have a school in mind.
Okay, now what's needed to, does it have to be a school that's taken over? For instance, there are some brothers in Kansas City who have bought a school building and run the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center already. There's some brothers in Philadelphia who have bought a building and they run Harambe Institute. There's a sister in Brooklyn who has bought the building and runs the Al Kareem School. There's a sister who was with us a couple of weeks ago who has bought a building out in Hempstead or Rosedale, Long Island, I believe, and has the building, has a number of students who are already enrolled in her class. Now, so we see that there are people who have gone past the step one already and have taken over a school. Now, can you also get a facility and without trying to take, I mean, what is meant by take over a school? Take a school from the Board of Education?
However I get it.
Okay, so
I get a place to begin to teach. And besides, those schools that you're talking about, not one has taught manhood in this form of sense. Nowhere in this country at any time.
Could be, but you really don't have any idea. For instance, the curriculum at the Harambe Institute in Philadelphia, you have no idea what it is, right?
Of course I know what it is, brother.
You know what so you don't think
Of course I know what it is.
Okay.
I got family in Philadelphia. Hardly anywhere you can name in this country, I don't have family there.
Okay, so that would make you aware of the curriculum at Harambe. So now, Harambe is there, and perhaps since the people who run it are African nationalists and are steeped in African culture, maybe they would be receptive to the manhood curriculum. Now, when you say that you would teach manhood, maybe one of those, the point I was trying to make is that maybe one of those existing schools would be receptive to that curriculum. Do you have a curriculum for the course that would teach manhood?
I have it from A to Z.
So while you know about Harambe, why don't you give it to them?
Because I am not going to allow anybody to teach that but myself.
But you don't have a place.
I don't trust anybody is going to go to full depth. Anytime we start to
maybe they would
military training for our kids, everybody cops out somewhere along the line, talk about we can't win, we can't do this, we can't do that.
Yeah, I hear the cop out right now. Let me ask you this. What about but I'm saying that maybe you could teach it yourself at that. It's a black institution. Maybe you could teach it yourself.
Brother, well, let me say this to you.
Yeah.
One of the brothers you spoke to earlier know me personally and know me for many years. I have taught the subject, and if he was to tell you what I have been doing, then you wouldn't tell me about this one-on-one business, because I'm far enough advanced to teach you a few things too, brother. You see, and it seems to me every time I'm talking to you, you say I'm being dramatic, or you're saying I'm being theatrical, when I know what I am saying is true. And I also know that we need to implement it, but where to begin to do it? Most of the brothers in this community are afraid for me to teach.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I'm aware of brothers who have gone beyond the analysis of what is wrong. and have gone beyond the obstacles of I've got to take over this first, and have begun to do the job. And now in developing a curriculum and looking at manhood and working with some of those brothers, we began to develop a curriculum. Now you're saying that you don't trust anybody but you to teach it.
That's exactly right.
Okay. I'm aware of the fact that there are some brothers who are as capable as you.
In what, brother? In teaching African manhood?
Sure. Absolutely.
Have you ever taught it?
Absolutely.
Explain it to me.
I'll
hang up and listen to you.
Okay, I'm going to explain that and a few other things, including here's what it makes me not suspicious but concerned. When you, for instance, you would be teaching young people, and I heard you sum up the civil rights movement. The summation was historically incorrect.
It was incorrect from your point of view, but
no,
the result...
but wait now, but wait.
Are we free, brother?
But wait a minute.
Are we free?
Pardon me?
Are we free?
No.
Why aren't we free?
No, wait a minute, because you haven't freed us yet. Here's what.
Exactly.
Wait a minute, but here's what. Wait a minute now. Hold on. Now, it is true that when I say, it's not incorrect from my point of view, because I'm going to look at some statistics. But when you say that it is correct, let us not lapse into some meaningless elitism. When you say that it is correct, let us be clear that also applies, that it is correct from your point of view.
My point of view is that the civil rights
movement I understand that.
were not interested in liberation, they were interested in integration, and that's what they got, and they lost everything they had before they become integrated.
No. The point that you raised was that there were a number of young people who were nothing more than cannon fodder. I'm going to deal with that assessment, which is an assessment simply from your point of view. The fact that it comes from your point of view has nothing to do with whether or not it is correct. Your position very often is that as you see it, so it must be. And very often there are people who disagree. Not just me. Very often there are people who disagree, which is all right. But I would not, so if I say, here's how I see it, you say, but the way you see it is correct, because you somehow approach this process with some greater insight and intellect, which is not true.
Are you saying that it's not possible?
I'm saying it's not true.
That's from your point of view.
But of course, but that's what all yours is.
You don't know what my point of view is until I tell it to you.
No, that doesn't make sense.
I know that you're very intelligent, but you cannot look inside my head and know what my point of view unless I reveal it.
Well, you're not but see, that's when I talk about the con game.
Oh, I'm a con game.
Wait now. Wait a minute. Here's what I'm saying. Don't run from that.
I'm not running.
What I'm saying, you about to hang up. All right, brother, I'm going. Don't run. Hold on 1 minute. What I'm saying is that there is no attempt to look inside your head. You characterized it like that. You phrased it like that. I'm saying that is the con game. I'm saying this, that you have a point of view, and so does everybody else. You present your point of view as being better informed, more enlightened, clearer than others. But that is simply how you perceive your intellect. It does not necessarily mean that you are correct, even though you might firmly believe you are correct. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that I am correct, but I do not dismiss your point of view from my just being smarter than you, which is your tendency. So if I say I disagree, you go off into, how can you know what's in my head? But I'll go, who said we were trying to know what's in your head? I am simply saying that I disagree. You characterize disagreements with you as someone who has the audacity to disagree with the master teacher, and you resent people who disagree. I'm saying,
no, brother,
I'm saying that you do
not being free.
No,
I resent us
but
not
here's
demonstrating the courage.
Yeah, but so do I. So do I.
But then there is no argument between you and I.
No, not on that. See, what I'm saying is we were not talking about whether or not we were free and whether or not one of us resents us being free. We are talking about the dissemination of information. And what we're calling into question is the information correct? You are saying that I do not have the right to call into question your information because I can't get into your head. I'm saying that's absurd.
Okay, let me say this to you, brother. I realize that not only you and other brothers and sisters are listening to what we are saying. Mm-hmm. And I dare give the enemy any deep edge on what I think and how I plan to go about anything. Why should I?
I didn't ask you to do that.
If I seem to be one-on-one If I seem to not be able to be clear, if I seem theatrical or dramatic or any of those...
Now, here's what I'm saying. I'm not asking to give anybody...
I'm not going to do.
I'm not asking to give anybody anything.
Brother, and tell the enemy what I know or what I plan to do.
But we didn't ask you to do that either. What I said was, would you be willing to take your curriculum into a black institution? And you said, no, I would not trust anybody to teach this but me. Wait now, wait a minute. I'm not talking about any white anything. I'm saying into a black institution, which suggests that the single black man on the planet capable of teaching manhood is you. I'm saying that's absurd.
But if you're teaching it and you know other brothers who are teaching it, I will come and listen.
No. See, again, you do not have the right to come in and listen and appraise whether or not they are doing the right thing. Here's what I'm saying. No, you don't have the right to do that. I'm saying this. You have a curriculum. You have a curriculum. What I said is, would you not go sit in on somebody else and appraise them, but take your curriculum? These are brothers who might very well be receptive to what you have. I say, rather than you sit in judgment as to whether or not they know what they're doing, you take what you have to them, that they might be willing to let you teach it without trying...
Let me teach it?
Right.
You said, let me teach it?
Right, since you don't have a...
The reason why I won't go into anybody's institution, I'll establish my own before...
Yeah, but you haven't done that. Yeah, but you haven't established...
It's a necessary thing for me to teach.
Yeah, but you haven't established your own.
I am teaching every day.
Well, okay.
I don't have the institution as such, but where I am...
Here's what I'm saying.
I'm teaching.
Here's what I'm saying. You know that there are students, young people all over the country. Mm-hmm. You can't be in all of those classrooms. You can't even be in all the classrooms in your neighborhood, let alone your community. You can't teach even on... You can't be in Harlem, Queens, and Brooklyn sufficiently. You can't even cover enough kids in your neighborhood by yourself. Now, if you... That's what I was going to say. Now, as a teacher... Well, then, see, if you have other brothers that you have taught, then why did you say you would not allow anybody but you to teach?
It means that the curriculum...
No, I'm saying if you have other brothers who have taught, why did you say you would not allow anybody but you to teach it?
I'm saying the curriculum that I have set must not be changed, not one period.
Yeah. So, but let it be the brothers that you taught.
Okay, in that way of looking at it, yes, I agree with that. But I won't agree with somebody come from somewhere.
Nah, but nobody
pouring something on.
Yeah, but nobody suggested that. See, that stuff is too easy to answer. I don't agree with anybody coming in and diluting or distorting what I teach. Well, who would? That's what I'm saying about using those easy answers.
But I'm saying, brother,
nobody would agree to that.
Brothers are weak.
Nah, man, no.
You know the majority of your brothers are weak. You know they have a tendency for cowardice.
Yeah, okay.
You know that.
Yeah, okay, but. So let's say that's true, but you know there needs to be something about you that separates you from that, other than you saying you so bad.
Brother,
you know there needs to be.
You better believe me.
But there needs to.
I am bad.
No, but nobody. But here's. All right, I'm late, but listen to this. Here's what I'm trying to say. You say I'm bad. Now, what if somebody else says I don't believe it?
But then
wait a minute. Wait. You need to be able to say, here is the evidence. Not just me saying, you better believe it. I don't believe it. Well, if you don't believe it, here is the evidence. Here's what I have built. Here is the fruit of my labor. Here is the evidence. Here's the proof that I'm bad. That's how you prove it.
Do you want an invitation?
Invitation to what?
Do you want an invitation?
Invitation to what?
To come and meet the master.
Who is the master?
You're talking to him.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm 5 minutes late. We got to go. We'll be back in 2 minutes. All right. Speak a little bit louder.
Okay. Try to speak up. Don't get scared. You know, I ain't scared, but what it is that, what we got to do, you know, y'all be talking about solutions all the time.
Right.
You know, the solution is that what we got to do is find each other. You know, us, it ain't but a few of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are the majority in the world. You know, but what we got to do first is find each other.
Is find each other?
You know, the few that's going
sure.
You know, help each other.
Okay.
You know, then we can, you know, we can set some kind of revolution in motion.
All right, my brother. I'm having I hear you. No, I'm having some difficulty hearing what you were saying, just in terms of the quality of the line. But what I did hear you say is that the solution is that we have to find each other, and that is and that is correct. As a matter of fact, we need to find each other, and because it does appear that we are lost from each other, and we think that we are the enemy. And as the caller from Philadelphia points out, there are people who won't deal with you if you're from St. Kitts because they're from St. Croix, or they won't deal with you if you are from Jamaica because they are from Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And they really think that we think that we are all different people. We have to, as the brother says, we have to find each other. We come back with your calls in 2 minutes.
The greatest jazz performers will appear in...
Before your call, hello, you're on the air.
Hotep African Brothers.
Hotep.
One of the questions I have to the brother is, how many black leaders are there that's controlling this?
Come on.
How many is there that's controlling what's being done to these brothers and sisters?
How many black leaders are there in St.
Yeah, how many
Wait now, wait. Let me ask you the question. Are you asking how many black leaders there are in St. Kitts?
Yeah, St. Kitts.
That are participating in the oppression of the people?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there are 10 ministers of government, but there's one leader, Dr. Kennedy Alphonse Simmons.
Oh,
and he's the leader, but they're all involved.
Okay, now how many brothers and sisters is in your party?
Oh, there are 10.
There's 10?
Yeah.
How many in your party?
10, because there are 10 parliamentary seats, so there has to be 10.
No, listen. How many people do you have in your organization?
In the organization, the Freedom Express.
Well, we have about 200 total people in all, but many people are afraid to speak up because...
No. Now listen. I'm going to tell you what to do. You go behind closed doors and set up a plan to kill every one of those 10 leaders.
I'll sleep on that.
What is your name? What is your name?
I'm having a bad connection.
Yeah, right, okay. That's what usually happens when people give certain kind of advice when everybody else is already exposed. And, you know, when the brother Cleon said earlier that it's big talk, you know what I mean? It's big talk. So Cleon, we know your name and we know who you are, what party you are, so I'll tell you to kill somebody. But what is my name? Oh, let me hang up now. Yeah. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Pablo. I respect